Hello everybody. I want to talk about psychology. Is it a science? This is a question which is frequently asked to me, and I will try to use and apply the Popper's theory to the mathematical psychology as I define it. Coming from Paul Diel, I reformulate with formulas the formulation of this theory. For sure, Paul Diel has been developing and introducing all the concept of this theory, but I wanted to put that into action, and with my mathematical background I wanted to make it more like a science and demonstrate how this science can be used and defined as veritable science. Science formulates laws, and the formula makes it possible to dispense with the formulation. It's interesting to understand why and how the formulation gives formulas. Formulas are like a synthesis of the formulation which we have, and why do we try to formulate laws? We try to formulate laws because laws describe a kind of reality. A reality is a set. The reality is a set of laws, I will say. Maybe I shock you saying reality doesn't exist. I don't mean it doesn't exist. It exists for you, and it's slightly different from the reality you see from the reality someone else can see. For sure, by example, this pen is my pen, so I can say this pen is a kind of reality, and you will see, yes, I can see it. But for me, it's not only a pen, it's the pen with which I have been writing 2 books, and it means something different from me, for me, than for you. So it's slightly different, okay? Someone I never met before is someone unknown for me. Someone I'm living with, or someone with whom I have been spending a lot of time, holidays and so on, is someone quite different. It's not an unknown person. It has all a past with him. So the reality of this person is quite different from the reality of someone else I don't know. So the reality is not only what we see, what we think, what we can reimagine. It's something different, and the science is here to try to describe, or to have a language able to be shared by a lot of people. So this is what the science try to prove and get. The criteria of science are these one. The science proceeds by observations and classification. The first of all, I try, if I am a scientific, I try to classify what I see and what I meet in the outer world as in the inner world, and I will try to apply the principle of deduction. If I observe that every time there is a phenomenon A, then I notice a phenomenon B. I deduce that A implies B. This is deduction. And Popper said that science is based on deduction. What does this mean? Deduction means that is a causal system. If I see an effect, it's because there is a cause creating this effect. So it's the causal aspect of what I can see. If I shoot on a ball, the ball will go far, and the more stronger I will shoot on the ball, the distance of the ball will from the point will be big. So this is what then I deduce from this experiment. I can deduce the law, which is relating between the fact that I'm shooting on the ball and the distance the ball is making. And the deduction then makes it possible to predict. So science is not only here to explain, but also to predict what's going on. And if I can predict you that you will be safe tomorrow, then I can reassure you, and I can quiet you, because I can predict that nothing will happen to you, and you will feel better because you will know what's going on. If I can say that tomorrow it will be raining, that's with the phone, I know now, but the weather it's quite better. I can take an umbrella if I want to go walking tomorrow, or to go to work. I will take an umbrella. So it's helping me. Science is here to help. Science is here to calm us down, because we have a lot of things to face, and the life around us is not so easy. So we need to have some prediction and to be able to understand what's going on. Okay, so the science reassures us because it allows to anticipate what's going on. The science must be refutable. What's this mean? This means that the science is not fixed, it evolves, because our knowledge evolves and it becomes clearer. And the more we go on, look at between what we know now and what we knew 50 years ago, or 100 years ago, or 200 years ago. Now we know better about medicines, about physics, about chemistry, about a lot of things, and it makes us better. Science can't be absolute. Science can't be absolute because everything is moving. Our knowledge is increasing, so we can't have an absolute science. It's what they thought during Newton's time, that the science was defined forever and everything was fixed, and this is moralism. This is I am perfect and now nothing has. I can predict everything. I put on equations everything I see, so I know what's going on. And Einstein came and he said it's not quite true, we have to improve. He has refutable the theory of Newton, which is not a wrong theory, it's incomplete theory, it's insufficient theory, but it's not a bad one and it's not a wrong one. Refutable means that we can improve the theory, that it has its own limits. Nothing is perfect. and the science is not perfect, but the science has to be defined where we can use it, and we can use the theory of Newton for, and you define the length, the speed of objects and so on, and it works. And if you get out of this frame, it doesn't work. So you see, we can use the same attitude towards psychology. If we think that what we have done is the best, is something not immutable, not changing, and it will stay as a perfect theory. There is no perfect theory, there is no perfect man, there is no perfect nature. So we have to adapt ourselves, and we have to adapt our theory to the environment, which is changing very rapidly. And psychology is, as Diel presented it, refutable. Okay, so it doesn't mean it's wrong, it doesn't mean we can't use it. It means only that we may face an experimentation which will force us to rethink about this theory. So it's an open theory, it's not a closed, definite theory. This is, in a word, no vanity that we can put on any theory. If we put some vanity in a theory, we can say that the theory is perfect, and this is a contradiction, because we are living in an imperfect world with imperfect people and with a changing world. So we have to adapt ourselves, and we have not only ourselves but also the theory we are using to describe the reality. As I said, the reality which is our reality. 300 years ago we thought that we had some system, a pump for the blood and so on. It was completely wrong, but it was working to explain what was going on and so on, and people were satisfied. So what? It's enough. If they are satisfied, it's okay. So with this psychological theory, you can say, great, I understand now better, I can change my world, I can adapt myself, and we will see if within 1, 2, 3, 10 years it still work or not. Believe me, theory are not changing this fast, and you have time to adapt to this to a kind of theory. Popper's criteria for the scientificity of theory. The verification of the scientificity of an application claiming to be scientific comprise 4 steps. The first one is the evaluation of coherence in the theoretical system. The second one is the highlighting of the logical form of the theory. The third one is the comparison with other theories. So I'm not against to compare what I'm saying to what other psychologists have said. And the fourth one, which is the most important, is the empirical test. We need to practice. If we don't practice a theory, it doesn't mean anything. I can tell you histories, but if I am a scientific, I will ask you to test my theory and for you to be able to predict what's going on. If you can predict what's going on tomorrow, then you will, step by step, you will trust this theory. Okay, if it works, just apply it, and if it works, you will get more confidence in this theory. So this is what you need to do. The theory of psychology is based on 4 axioms. The axioms are from a current and complete system, There is no contradiction between axioms, there is no duplicates, and they allow theorems to be built. So it's a constructive basis on which you can construct your theory, which is fantastic, because each term has only one definition and no definition is a tautological. It's complete because it allows you to approach everything and nothing but it's subject to study the psychic functioning, and this is what we are going to deal with and nothing else. We are not going to deal with theoretical things or material things. We are just dealing with how the psyche is working. Okay, so I remind you about mathematics. In mathematics, an axiomatic system is based on axioms. Some of all of those axioms can be used logically to derive theorem from them, and a theory consists of an axiomatic system and all its derived theorems. So this is the definition of a system, of a theory. You have some axiom, and from this axiom you can build and develop a lot of theorems. Okay, so you will have to learn a lot of theorems to understand the axiom, and from that, both combined, you will be able to set up the explanation of the psyche of human being. If it works, and this has to be tested, this has to be tried. Okay, there is no theory without application. If the application is working, and believe me, I can within 4, 5, 10 seances with my patients, I can put them up and solve problem. Sometimes it's very complicated, sometimes they have been for 20 years in symptoms, and we need more than, maybe we need a year to get rid of that, but we can do it. Science can do everything. Not you, but science. Don't forget that we are dealing with science. The science is above us. Science is dealing with the problems, and science will solve any problems. So this is what you need to trust and to do. Okay, the 4 axioms are: first of all, man can only take care of a space-time how I say, space-time frame that he gets out, he is able to deal with. Okay, the second axiom: everything, every living, every human being, or every animated being is motivated by the search for satisfaction. The plant is looking for the sun, the human being is looking for satisfaction. We are looking for satisfaction. The axiom 3, and you see that with this axiom I include all the species, not only human being but all the species, so it's very wide, large axiom on which we can base our theory. And the vital culp is the biological insufficiency of every living being, and therefore also the human being. Okay, so the vital culp is the fact that we are not perfect. That's all. That's very simple. And if you have seen something perfect, animals, plants, or human being, please call me right away, because I will be delighted to see what the perfection looks like. Perfection doesn't exist. So I'm sorry, you won't call me. The fourth axiom is about human species is subject to the process of evolution, and this is very important. We have to adapt ourselves to the new condition of our life, and you will see that the climate is changing, you will see that political order is changing, and so on and so on. So we need to adapt ourselves to that. Okay, so completeness of axiom. The first axiom defines the framework. The second axiom defines the objective of the study. The third defines the problem to be solved, and the fourth, the evolution of this study. So you see that I face a complete system which is dealing with only one thing, which is how works our brain. And with that, I will go and try to find the functions of our psyche. The consistency of the axiom. The four axioms pose the problem to the problem to be solved. To be solved by defining the framework, the objective, the problem, the evolution, as I said. The four axioms do not contradict each other. They are complementary to each other, and they have a different object. They do not use terms from other axioms, so it's not something which is turning on itself. It's not a tautologic. It's a real open system with which I can start studying a defined system, which is our psyche. Okay. Now, example of a theorem that follows from the fourth action. From action 2, we have the theorem 1. Any satisfaction greater than another will have a greater value than this one. If satisfaction of A, event A, is greater than the satisfaction of the event B, then the value of A is above the value of B. If I feel better being with one person than the other person, if someone is bringing me more satisfaction, then I will have a better value for this person than for the other, and this will start putting in place the value of different person in my mind. The corollary is that all satisfaction ranks into our scale of the value and completes it. At first we don't have any values, and step by step, because we are making some experimentation, we start creating values inside of us, and this is exactly what and why this theory is refutable, and we can improve this theory, and it's just a start, and it works. Believe me, it works. No, don't believe me, try. Just try to apply it, and you will come back saying it works or it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, I will be glad, because this can be a refutation of the theory. I am confident because I've been working in more than 5 or 10 countries in 5 continents, and it works always, from India to China to Russia to Brazil, Canada, States, Europe. It works, and anyway it's exactly the same. Human beings are exactly identical, and I don't understand why there is some more, because we are all equivalent. and there is no difference between any human being. But every human being thinks that he is better than the others. So this is the problem. It's not the problem of people, it's themselves. It's the problem because we make some comparison and we think we are better than the others. Okay, I am like everyone. I am not perfect, but I am glad because I have this knowledge, and this knowledge enables me to find my satisfaction in my life, which is fantastic because I'm always happy. What could be the best than that? To be happy, to have energy, to feel ourselves confident in the future, because nothing can happen in which I am not prepared. I'm prepared to any kind of change, which is fantastic. Okay, because nothing. I'm not fearing anything. I'm not afraid of anything. Everything has a solution and a definition. So for sure, I can go on and develop this theory. What I wanted to show you is that this theory is answering all the criticism of Popper, and in which we can define that it's a real science in the same way as physics, chemistry, mathematics, or geography, or things like that. So no more blah blah, but just application of formulas, and you will find that studying with EHEPM, which is the School of Higher Knowledge in psychology, mathematical psychology, you will find out all the laws of the inner world, which is a new world that no one knows so far, I will say, and full of some beautiful rewards for our life. So thank you very much for attending to my little presentation, and if you want to know more about that, just subscribe to my YouTube channel, or better, just follow the courses I'm doing in different universities, and with whom you can be acquainted to all this kind of theory. I am on ehepm.com, anytime available with email, without any problem. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and hope seeing you soon.